Good, how's it going?
It's obviously, this isn't your first rodeo, so you've had a million fight weeks, but I feel like it's a little different when you're preparing to fight someone like Jose Aldo. So I guess what was, the emotions when his name was the one that either came across your desk or you got the phone call that you were going to fight arguably the greatest featherweight ever?
Yeah, it was cool. I was in California. My teammate Nasrat Hakparas was getting ready for a fight. So I went out there because I was one of his sparring partners to imitate Rebovic's. So I was actually I got the night off, and I was driving from, I think we were in Laguna Beach or something, and we're driving from there to watch the Lakers game. And I was with Enrico Kill, who's like a world champion kickboxer. And as we were driving to the game, it's a 2-hour drive. So as we were driving to the game, my brother texts me, he's like, oh, we just got the Aldo name. I'm going to watch tape. Let's talk about it in the morning. Enjoy your night off. So I was like, oh, man, Enrico, I got Jose Aldo. He's like, bro, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. You should do it. You have to take this fight. There's no losing. All you got to go out there is do your best. And whether you win or lose, people are going to respect you because you fought a legend, And he kind of took the pressure off. As soon as I got the text, he kind of like relieved everything from me. And I was like, you're right, man. I'm like, who's to say I can't win? And all I got to go out there is do my best. That's easy. So I'm very excited about this fight.
Was he a name that you ever thought was a possibility as a possible opponent? Because I think obviously after his last fight, people wanted him to see like the Cejudo fight or the Dom Cruz. I don't think your name was on the short list of possible opponents for him.
Yeah, it wasn't at the top of mind, because I thought they would put him with other big names too, for sure. And my name is starting to get momentum, but not near as big as his. He's 8-time world champion. He's defended the belt so many times. But it's a nice surprise, and I feel like I earned it with my win streak. And UFC, it's very merit-based in a lot of ways, And since he came back, he hasn't won all his fights, and so he slid a little bit. And I'm number 13, or I was 13 when they announced the fight, and he was at 10 or 11. So we're close to each other, so it kind of makes sense. And it is what it is. I know some people don't like the fight. My friends love the fight. My family loves the fight. So, to me, that's what matters most.
Well, I was going to ask that. I guess, what have you made of the fan reaction to this fight announcement?
Yeah, it's been good. Positive from my side. Not so positive from other people's side. But it's interesting, Canadians are so nice. Montrealers are so nice. That the one thing that was odd for me for this fight was when people would come up to me, they'd be like, okay, we're cheering for you, but we still love Aldo, so don't hurt him too much. Okay, beat him, but don't hurt him. Please, please. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? The guy's coming to rip my face off, He wants to make 2 checks. I got to make 2 checks too, So it was awkward. But there was a funny story with my daughters. During fight camp, I took them out to like this place where you paint ceramics, like ceramic cafe style. And my daughter was like, so people are happy for you, they're cheering for you, they love you. I'm like, well, this time around, this guy is a pretty big star. And she's like, really? They love him more than you? I'm like, I know. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? So, yeah, it's just interesting.
As a fighter, how much do you appreciate the fact that, like, Aldo could, like, if anyone can ask for big names, it's probably him. Mm-hmm. Like, he wants to fight. Like, he fought Mario Bautista. He fought Jonathan Martinez. He's taking this fight against you. It's like risky fights, maybe not the biggest name. So just as a fighter, like, how much do you appreciate that approach to the game?
Well, Aldo has a lot of experience, and even me, like I reached to the point now where I realized it doesn't really matter who the opponent is. In the end, the opponents are just a mirror. They're exposing you for your faults, and that's all you can use them for. And I'm sure he just wants to go out there and impress for his last few fights. Me and him are close to the same age, but he has 42 fights. I only have 14. So he might be calling it quits soon in that sense. I'm talking about a number of fights. He's a great fighter and everything. So, I think he just wants to go out there and perform. I don't think he really cares about who he's fighting.
What did you make of his last fight? Did you think he had won that fight against Mario?
It is up for debate. It's a tough one to call. I mean, it came down to the second round. I thought, he did have the control time, but Aldo did more of the damage. So, for me, I like to favor damage. So, I would have leaned towards Aldo, because I think whoever is closer to finishing the fight should get the nod. That's just my opinion,
And just last one for me. I think Aldo is undefeated in Canada when he fights up here. So I guess how do you see the fight playing out when you do get to step in there against him?
Well, I love breaking records, so let's take that one from him. Let's give him his first L. Thank you.
Aiemann, right here to your right. This isn't your first main card, but it is your first pay-per-view main card. So
Yeah.
what does it feel like to kind of check that off your list?
It's cool, but you know, it doesn't change anything. I gotta fight the guy. You know, it's just me and him in there, and where we are on the card never really affected me.
And then the last time the UFC was in Montreal, you weren't in the UFC yet. I think you were about 3 years into your pro fighting career, but obviously you've been around the sport, your brother with TriStar, everything else. I mean, do you have any memories of the last time they were here?
No, the last time they were here, I don't even think I went to the event. I think the last one they were here was supposed to be John Jones. Then it got canceled, I think, and then it was Demetrius Johnson. Yeah, and for some reason, I didn't come to that event. I think I had either a smaller show out of town or something else. I couldn't make it. But so the last one I experienced was the GSP fight. And that was incredible. You know, it was great. The atmosphere was amazing. I got to be backstage with him. I didn't walk him out or anything, but I was backstage with the team. And it was incredible to see my mentor, you know, achieve greatness again.
And then last one for me, it's kind of a crazy world right now, and Canada's in a weird spot. So just what does it mean to you to be able to represent both the country and Quebec on a big platform like this?
Oh, it's going to be huge for me. You know, I'm proud Montrealer. I'm proud to represent Quebec and Canada. You know, it's a great country. You know, some awkward things happening on the world stage, but it's nice to do my part, and I would love to represent them properly Saturday with a great performance.
I think the last time they were here was supposed to be Dillashaw and Barao, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I think someone got hurt. And they bumped it, and it ended up being DJ.
Oh, so it was, okay, so
It was
Dillashaw.
It was DJ and Horiguchi ended up being the main event.
Okay, my bad. Yeah.
Aiemann right here.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, bro? I feel like you gave a very Canadian answer at the beginning. You said, you know, it'd be great to win, but also there's a part of me that wants to go out and do my best against Jose Aldo. But I got to ask, what do you think of the state of Canadian MMA right now? Because I feel like we had a little bit of a lull on the Toronto card. We kind of picked it up on the Edmonton card. Contender Series didn't go our way, but we got a good chance to kind of pick it up this weekend, right?
Yeah, we definitely have a good chance to pick it up. A lot of good guys fighting, representing. You know, Jillian just won, and she's on a tear. Jazz is on a tear. Mike's coming back. You know, all these guys are doing well. Brad's got a good fight this weekend. But in general, for MMA in Canada, you know, the awkward thing is, like, we don't have an amateur scene. You can't put on a legal amateur MMA show in Montreal. So it would be nice to just have some regulation and guidance so we can prepare the younger generation. You know, one of the things, like, for TriStar guys, a lot of times, by the time we get to the UFC, we're a little bit on the older side, and it's because it's so hard to develop the future guys because there are no shows to put them on, and you can only fight on the res. You know, you can only fight on these, you know, backdoor shows, or you got to get them to travel to the States, and not, you know, a lot of people in the States don't want to fly out or pay for hotels for amateur fighters, right? So it's hard for us to gain that experience. And when it comes to the local MMA scene, now we're starting to get a few more shows like Samurai, BTC, Unified, BFL in Vancouver. And we, you know, as Canadians, we need to go out there and support those shows. I know there's a show this Friday at Samurai. You can also watch it on Fight Pass. But if you're in Montreal and you can buy tickets, you know, it'd be nice to support so that these guys could make it to the UFC one day.
And then as far as your career going forward, we've heard guys like Corey Sandhagen be like, hey, man, you know, I'm not real big on social media, but I've kind of got to put an effort out there to, you know, maybe get more fans behind me and push myself that way. So as your career progresses, like, are you going to be more active on social media, or do you think that winning is going to be enough?
Yeah. Well, definitely my brother wants me to just win. Just do the winning. Don't worry about the social media, for sure. So I started hiring some of my friends who do that kind of thing. So they're starting to produce more reels for me and more YouTube videos. I'm just trying to pump it out, but I'm trying to, like, not make it my focus and try to build a team for that instead. So, like, I can have them film me and then they deal with all of the editing. I tried doing the editing. It takes too many hours, and, you know, my hat's off to the editors. It's very complicated, and it's not simple to do what they do to make videos look good. So I really appreciate my guys and appreciate them doing the work, because it's very, very time-consuming if you don't know what you're doing.
And I know you do a bit of the commentary thing and do the broadcasting. So is that something you're already going to be comfortable with when the camera's around, you know, more often?
Yeah. I love it. I saw Pat Cote doing the Sportsnet. I told him, don't steal my job, brother, because, you know, you can stick to the French side. You know what I mean? But we're just joking around. But yeah, I love that. I love that opportunity for me. I'm going to do it in between the fights whenever I can, whenever it's easy. And hopefully, you know, I'm just trying to set up my retirement career. You know, I'm always trying to plan 10 years ahead. You know, I'm not someone who walks around with no plan. I like to think about the future, my wife, my kids' future. You know, it's very important for me. So same thing with fighting. You know, you have to have a strategy for fighting, and then you have to have the tactics to implement the strategy. And life's the same thing. You know, I'm running two things in parallel. You know, my life and my fight life. Thank you.
Right, yeah. Hey, man, just
Hey.
got a one in French, if it's okay for
Ouais,
you.
bien sûr.
En plus d'une victoire contre une légende, est-ce qu'une victoire justement contre Jose Aldo, ça t'offre un statut de contender pour la catégorie? Est-ce que c'est quelque chose d'important pour toi, au-delà du fait justement que ce soit une grosse personnalité? Sportivement, il est classé numéro 11 et ça pourrait justement te faire rentrer dans un top 10 et avec un statut de contender dans une catégorie qui évolue. I translate for the people. Does this win over Jose means more than just a big fight like contender status for you?
Oui, mais à chaque combat, tous les combats, c'est ma combat le plus important. À chaque fois. Même si je gagne ce combat-là, le prochain va être plus important que celle-là. Et si je perds, ça va être encore plus important parce que je viens juste de perdre. Donc, tu sais, ça ne change jamais pour nous. Et à chaque fois, on vient pour nous donner comme notre meilleur effort. Et pour ces 10 dernières semaines, je m'ai tout donné dans le camp d'entraînement. Je m'ai presque tué pour ce combat-là parce que je vais avoir une très belle performance et je veux me combattre avec mon corps au complet samedi et avoir pas de doute que j'ai tout laissé dans l'octogone ce samedi soir. Et oui, en battant Jose Aldo, ce serait magnifique pour ma carrière. Même juste comme Montréalais, de le faire ici à Montréal, je souhaite que les partisans vont m'aimer encore plus. Mais aussi, ça va peut-être me pousser dans le top 10, dans les classements. Et je souhaite, après ce combat-là, si je le gagne, il me donne quelqu'un entre numéro 1 et numéro 9 et qui ne me fait pas battre contre quelqu'un en arrière de moi en classement parce que j'aurais gagné 6 de suite. Donc, je veux continuer à avancer. Et si je gagne contre quelqu'un entre 1 et 9, tu ne sais jamais s'il t'appelle pour le titre. Si quelqu'un se blesse ou les autres gars qui sont déjà bookés, peut-être c'est moi qui se bat pour le titre bientôt.
Merci beaucoup. Et last one for me. Do you feel that your fight is the people's main event?
Oui, je souhaite que c'est le combat que tout le monde de Montréal va venir voir. Et je souhaite qu'ils me donnent le olé olé, comme ils ont donné à Georges et à Pat Côté, et tous les Canadiens, et les stars. Donc, je souhaite qu'ils vont bien engager avec moi.
Good luck and thank you.
Et je te remercie.
Aiemann, right here.
Yep.
Aiemann, I heard you talking about this fight against Jose Aldo on Saturday night. You said it's a win-win fight for you.
Yeah.
You said even if you went out there and lost a split decision to Jose Aldo, it'd still be a win for you. It's unusual to hear a fighter talking like that. Normally, you're laser focused on the win. Is it something that you like to do ahead of a fight? Is kind of like look at all avenues that the fight could go down?
You know, the thing about fighting is there are a lot of banana peels in there. And mistakes happen, awkward things happen. You know, one of the listen, I'm not taking away anything from anybody. You know, it takes both guys to make one guy has to make a mistake and one guy has to capitalize. But that fight with Paddy Pimblett and Bobby Green, I thought it was awkward because, you know, it was one mistake that he falls into a submission and he gets finished in one round. I did not expect in 10 fights it would ever look like that, and it's just something that happens, and so I don't want to get too hung up if something so low probability occurs. It's not going to crush me mentally and I can just get back on the horse and fight again as soon as possible. I've come to the point where I want to fight often and I want to perform every time, and I've come to the realization that UFC rewards performance, not necessarily only winning. You see guys who lose and they get a chance to fight again, and then when they win, everyone forgets about the loss. They only really care about your last fight. So I've been working with my mindset coach, and all we've been doing is if we give our best effort, number one, the fans are going to love you. And number two, the UFC is going to love you. You got to go out there and just do it, man. Just live that life and be about the game, and then you're going to earn that respect.
When you're looking at Aldo's style and how it's progressed throughout his career, obviously he led with a very kick-heavy game early days. Kind of taking that back a little bit now. What kind of Jose Aldo are you preparing for on Saturday night?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough, good question, man, because I don't know what he's going to bring, right? And I was telling the guys yesterday when I was doing the media, this fight with Aldo, it's not much of a chess match because we don't have the same pieces, okay? We have different tools. So I feel like it's more like a card game. I got my deck of cards, he's got his deck of cards. I have my strategy. So I'm going to start with 5 cards in my hand. And as the fight goes on, if a couple of those tactics don't work, I'll take 2 of them out, I'll put them down, reach in my deck, and take out a couple more tactics. He's got a lot of experience, he's got a lot of tools in his kit. So I have to be ready to adapt throughout the fight as the fight goes. When I watched him against Peter Yan in round 1, Yan was doing really well. And after round 1, his corner was yelling at him, begging him, please, throw the low kick. Throw the low kick. Obviously in Portuguese. I don't speak Portuguese, but they were telling him in Portuguese. And then he goes out there and starts smashing him with the low kick. And Yan had to switch stance. His leg was getting eaten up. So maybe he doesn't throw it in round 1, but then he throws it in round 2. Or maybe he throws it in round 1, he doesn't throw it in round 2. The fight's going to change over time, you know, and it's going to get better over time as we open up more and more. We're both guys with experience who understand how dangerous striking is. This fight's going to be on the feet. It's going to be dangerous, but it's going to be well played.
Last one from me, Aiemann. Obviously, Georges St. Pierre has been by your side throughout your career. He'll be in your corner on Saturday night for the biggest night of your career so far. What's it like having his guidance, and has he been telling you anything ahead of this fight, you know, with the magnitude of it?
Yeah, well, he just told me not to over-respect him. You know, he said he did that mistake against Matt Hughes the first time around. And a lot of guys, they do it when they fight legends, so make sure not to over-respect him. He's just another guy, nothing special, you know. I mean, not to disrespect his career, I just mean like he's a human being is what I mean, you know. And then George is great, he's a mensch, you know, so when I asked him to corner me, he's like, yes, okay, I'll corner you. He's like, I have to do a lot of work promoting the event and blah, blah, blah. He's like, when one of my sponsors call me, I'll call you. I said, okay. So then he calls me a few weeks ago. He's like, look, my sponsors need me on this day, this day, this day. What times do you need me? I won't do whatever events where you need me to be there for, you know, which day. So I told him, don't worry, I got Frost and Neil. They're going to take care of everything. Just make sure you're there Saturday night. He's like, are you sure you don't need me during the week? I'm like, don't worry about it. You go make as much money as possible. I'll see you Saturday at 7, okay? Get ready for 7. He's like, okay, I'll be there. I said, perfect.
Thank you, Aiemann.
Thank you.
Aiemann, si ce serait correct, j'aimerais te poser quelques questions en français.
Oui, bien sûr.
I can translate also. Juste pour revenir à cette semaine, là, tu sens-tu le buzz à Montréal pour le gala de cette semaine? T'as-tu vécu des petites choses dans les derniers jours qui te font croire qu'il y a de la fébrilité? Just asking him, you know, if he's feeling the vibe here in Montreal for the
Oui, bien sûr. Les gens ils commencent à savoir qu'on se bat ici à Montréal. L'UFC, elle est là. On est allé au restaurant une couple de fois dimanche et lundi. C'était une drôle chose pour moi parce que les serveurs et les serveuses, ils pensaient que mon coach Neil était le combattant parce que lui, il y a les braids, il y a les oreilles comme toutes gonflées à cause de la lutte. Puis moi, j'ai rien. Je suis un gars beau, je suis un gars handsome, tu sais. C'est dur à savoir que je fais des combats. Je me fais pas frapper très souvent. Donc, c'était des drôles événements. Ben, c'est cool.
Mais tu le sens dans la rue, dans la vibe là, autour.
Oui, on le voit. Il y a des gars en avant de l'hôtel qui demandent pour des autographes et des affaires comme ça. Donc, oui, ça commence.
Si je pourrais avoir peut-être la réponse que tu as donnée pour Georges Saint-Pierre dans ton coin, just asking him about having George in his corner in French.
Oui, c'est hâte d'avoir Georges. Tu sais, je connais Georges depuis que j'ai 16 ans, puis on s'entraîne ensemble très souvent. Et c'est un gars qui me donne de confiance parce qu'il croit en moi, il croit dans mes habilités. Et aussi pour ce samedi, quand je l'ai demandé pour venir dans mon coin, il m'a dit oui, bien sûr. Mais il m'avait dit qu'il y avait beaucoup de commanditaires. Il allait faire des promos pour l'UFC 315 à Montréal. Il y avait beaucoup d'événements. Mais il veut m'appeler avant qu'il schedule quelque chose. Puis ça fait une couple de semaines, mais il m'a appelé. Il dit, écoute, quelle journée tu as besoin, à quelle heure? Parce que je dois faire ça cette journée-là. J'ai dit, écoute, fais le plus d'argent que tu peux. Samedi soir, à 7 heures, il faut que tu sois prêt pour sortir avec moi. Il m'a dit, oui, je suis là.
Très cool. Je te demanderais aussi, qu'est-ce que tu penses du combat principal de la soirée?
Oh, j'adore ce combat-là.
Comment tu penses que ça va aller?
Ouais,
Parle-moi un peu, just asking him about the main event.
Oui, c'est un combat magnifique. On est très chanceux d'avoir ce combat-là à Montréal. Je sais peut-être que les Montréalais ne connaissent pas les noms nécessairement de Belal Mohamed et de Jacques. Mais c'est deux gars qui sont très compétents dans le striking, en lutte, en jiu-jitsu. Ce sont des gars qui amènent de l'action. Je pense que Jacques il a gagné comme 7 ou 8 ou 10 combats de suite. C'est un gars qui frappe très fort et est très, très bon en jiu-jitsu. Puis Belal Mohamed, c'est le champion du monde. Beaucoup de personnes pensent qu'il peut casser les records de Georges. Donc, si vous avez aimé Georges, vous avez adoré Belal.
Dernière question. Ce building-là a été extrêmement bruyant dans les dernières semaines pour des matchs de hockey, mais c'est pas grave. Est-ce que tu te l'imagines un peu? Can you already picture what it's going to be like, the noise and everything, especially when you're walking up?
Oui, quand Georges se battait, le Centre Bell, c'était le plus
Bruyant.
Arena que j'ai jamais été dedans. Donc, je souhaite en sortant avec Georges que le monde va me supporter comme ça aussi. Et j'ai hâte d'entendre vos encouragements.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous. Guys, thank you so much.